This is Rogers TV.
Welcome to Ultimate Parks International here in Greeley, Ontario, just south of the nation's capital. It's the Junior Open Final in the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships. Dan Mooney alongside Clay Howlett, a veteran of the Ultimate Wars. And these two teams, number one, Dyno from Vancouver. They are the defending gold medalists from a year ago, going up against Ignite from the nation's capital, a bronze medal finisher a year ago, and this time they're going for gold.
Well, Dan, I got to tell you, I've got the jitters just starting this off today. I did think we would see Dyno here in the final, but Ignite came from a huge run to win their quarterfinal and their semifinal on double game point, winning those games by one. Both games were super intense, and they're starting on offense.
Ignite in white. Alexander with the disc moves that one back for Rothmoring. He'll have the disc a lot in this one. Out for Brooklyn Cheer, a female playing with the men here in the junior division, and a foul called against number 16, Miles Wong.
That's Fletcher making the foul call. He's arguing that as he had a line on to the disc there, Wong had to come through and push him out of the way to prevent him from catching it. Had Wong laid out a little bit more to his right, he could have hit the disc clean without contacting Fletcher, and that would have been legal. But I believe Fletcher is arguing that to make that play, you had to go through my right arm, my right shoulder, which is a foul. We do have our observer staff, that's Sandra Hansen, right there, listening to their perspective so we can get a quick resolution to this call.
She's working alongside Jonathan Nelson, Glenn Ford, and Chazzy, the team of observers here in the Junior Open Championship for the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships in the nation's capital. Fletcher looking for an open man. Little flip out inside, and the first turnover of the game goes in favor of Dyno.
So while the foul was upheld by the observer staff, a quick pop over the top and a miscommunication leads to an errant throw.
Far side, it's Andrew Van Driesen, moves it up into the area. Good save there by Dyno, and plays called once again.
Yeah, a pick call downfield. If you see the players flexing their biceps, that is the hand signal for a pick. If you follow sports, you'll know a pick is when you block a defender from following their check. That is illegal all the time in Ultimate, whether it's on purpose or by accident.
Dyno. It's Miles Wong. Moves that one out once again. Ryan Kinsey gets to the outside for Ivan Hu. Looking into the end zone, and a chance there goes for naught. Number 15, Yuchen Xia, unable to grab onto the disc, wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, just don't know if it bounced off his hands or just went through the clap catch. Rothmoring, a big handler for Ignite, picks up and moves that up to Fletcher immediately.
Fletcher with it, looking for some space. Good defense there once again by Xia.
Xia causing the turnover, but getting it right back.
Bryan. Eli Bryan out to the outside. Vander Driesen dives for it, lays out, keeps it alive about 3 yards out. Vander Driesen. They move it along the goal line, all the way back for Xia, or make that Miles Wong. Wong with it. Got a 10 stall count right into the end zone for Vander Driesen. 1-0 for Dyno.
Lots of discipline and patience shown by Dyno in their end zone. They lined up single file. We call that a vertical stack in Ultimate. It is an extremely common end zone strategy. You leave your players stacked up with either side of the field that they can cut to, the right or the left, to get some room. Usually you have a set where you take turns. You say the person in front, it's always their turn to cut. Everybody else wait, not to create any traffic. And in doing so, Dyno just had lots of patience and lots of options and set up some really easy one-on-one shots. That throw, a good step around break, going through or around the defensive mark, I should say, and that's always the easiest side to score on because the defense downfield isn't set up on that side. They're counting on the defensive mark on the thrower to prevent any throws there. So if a good thrower can step around and make that break shot, it's usually a free pass.
How important is it for Ignite to answer back with a score of their own? Well, at the early going here.
Yeah, extremely. With Dyno being a team that is coming in just 100%. We are here to win. We are here to compete. We are defending champs. We've obviously been in high-pressure situations before and everything. They know how to keep their composure and roll with this. They actually went down by 2 at the very start of their semifinal. Helios went up 2-0 on them. They came through in that game 15-7. They know how to deal with high-pressure situations. Ignite needs to get on the board to stay with them.
Morin moves that out. Lumley for Fletcher. Fletcher down the right side, and Hindman called for a foul there by
this is Ryan Kinsey.
91. Yeah. He's been a presence defensively for Dyno in these championships. Moring has to go back to the far side. Lucas Timon, and another great defensive play. We talked about Kinsey earlier. That's what he can do.
A massive defensive layout there, putting Dyno in excellent field position.
Vander Driesen moves that one up. Sia. Brooklyn Cheer right there in defense. Kinsey. Little forehand flip into the hands of Wong. Wong looks one way, goes the other, goes into the end zone, and Moring knocks it down.
Moring, sensing the stall count getting high, you only have 10 seconds to make a throw. And that was getting desperate with the high stall count. And Moring calls a timeout. Dan, I want to tell you all about why I hate this timeout.
Please.
After timeout and ultimate, they are 70 seconds long. The offense has 70 seconds to have a little meeting, as we see here, right? So Ignite's going to have a little meeting, and within that 70 seconds, they have to set up on the field where the point will be called back in from a dead disc to a live. Now, after that 70 seconds and they're set, Dyno on defense is entitled to an extra 20 to set up their defense and where they want to stand, what they're going to scope out. That gives them 20 seconds to assess Ignite's positioning and plan to try and take advantage of it. Why I hate the field position here is because that timeout is taken in coffin corner. You are stuck on the sideline. You're only 3 yards outside of your end zone, right? And now you have a defense that has had time when you're not even allowed to move during that 20 seconds to assess what's going on.
And catch a breather.
And catch a breather. Taking the time out to organize your offense, on the other hand, Moring's probably saying, we have to get this figured out, right? So he's making a call saying, it doesn't matter where I take the time out if my team's offense is all over the place.
But the defense came up with a big play, so they don't want to be working too hastily and blow the opportunity to move the disc down the field and tie this thing up.
So they're getting into a vertical stack. We were talking about that's the end zone set that we saw from Dyno earlier. Ignite is setting this up in the middle of the field. They have one handler back in parallel there to Moring, while everybody else single file downfield.
Moring with the disc. Duncan Nichols taps it in. Fletcher. This side. For Lucas Timon. Timon back into the middle for Brooklyn Cheer. Cheer moves it up. Nice pass there for Chase Alexander. Alexander moves it up the left side. Fletcher with it once again. Sends it up. Kai Hindman with it now. Kinsey on him immediately. Has to go back. Mooring has it now. Mooring. Little flip near side. Charlie Lumley with it. Lumley. Back to the middle for Mooring. Mooring. Little bucket toss over the hop for Timon. Timon back for Mooring. Mooring. Little flip outside and a foul called as Kinsey ended up. I'm not sure if he slipped or was pushed or he called the foul, and now the observers will come in and negotiate a settlement.
Second call made by Kinsey against Kai Hyman there. I believe arguing the push-off. It is very instinctively easy when you want to get open to give that little elbow shove, get your defender moving the wrong way. I have to say, as Ultimate players, we all do it without thinking. Very difficult thing to shut down. It is illegal, but also so automatic sometimes when you're competing out there.
Well, it's a little cheat, and a lot of people are of the school of thought that if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Tough in a self-officiated game.
Timon. Timon moves it up. Mooring has it. Sets up once again. Little flip to the far side. Fletcher into the end zone, and Hindman comes down with it. We're tied at 1 here in the junior final.
Ignite came into this tournament saying to us that they were all about composure, and there we see it. A really good discipline was shown to us in their end zone set. Obviously getting on the board, not getting broken and going down 2-0 in a final. It can just take the wind out of the sails immediately. So really working hard to get that point, but also just taking their time, playing their game. Got a chance to talk to Coach Atala, and he just, the belief he was putting into his team, he talked to his players, and he knew he was going to be here in the final with them. He told them that far before they had moved through their semifinal. So the belief in their abilities is there.
Coming into a tournament of this magnitude, you have to come in with a level of confidence to be successful, and both teams have showed that throughout the entire pool play, through the crossovers, and into the championship side of the tournament.
That's right. Dyno having no losses, I believe. In fact, you could say that Dyno has not lost a game since their inception as a program.
They were the gold medalists in this division a year ago in their first year of operation, and they get back to the national championships and get in the gold medal again. That says a lot for your program.
Sure does.
Here comes Dyno. Rex Yuan. Looking for a cutter. Finds Matthew Jarrett. Jarrett boxed in, gets to the open man. Elvin Young Lim. Ponton. Young Lin. Far side, Ryan Chen with it now. Chen with some room. Nice flip and a one-handed grab by Rex Yuan. Has to come back. Almost a great defensive play there. Number 50, Loic Cleveland, laying out just like Jarrett just did. Jarrett came up with a disc. Jarrett looking downfield into the end zone for the score. Callahan McCullough. What a great name for Ultimate. And McCullough gives Dyno a 2-1 advantage.
Ignite is putting a ton of pressure on Dyno. We're watching them have to get rid of the disc, make their passes at a high stall count. Something that Dyno hasn't had to deal with very much in this tournament. They have usually been able to just run the offense by themselves, leave the other teams in the dust, but now they're finding that they're having to take a lot of desperate shots. Dan, right in front of us here, talking about what I see, I think Dyno got away with one there. And that was close, but I believe on that layout catch on the edge here by Jarrett Matthew was actually dropped and bounced off the ground, but sometimes difficult for players to tell us they're on the ground. And our observers in orange, while they're there to make calls and help us out, they only make passive up and down calls. That meaning to say if the disc was caught cleanly or if it bounced off the ground, which would be a turnover. That is only up to the players. Observers do not make that active call, so if the players don't engage in any discussion or confirmation, denial, whatever, that the disc is up or down, play just continues.
Can't go to the war room in Toronto.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Disc comes down, Brooklyn cheer. Roth Mooring moves to the outside, wind picking up, and quickly grabbed there by Jeremy Fletcher. Fletcher and Mooring outside of the end zone now. Mooring dropped it on the goal line. Little flip out, and Ivanhoe is never going to get an easier goal in his life.
No, I think not. Dyno capitalizing immediately. It's what you want to do to really deflate your opponent's energy. But you see Roth Mooring going right back on. He goes by Coach Tell there. He knows what the expectations are. Just keep your composure. That was a whiff. He went for his forehand throw. He decided that he was going to holster it, not make the throw at the last second, but he was too far through his windup. He couldn't hold on to it and just whiffed it into the turf there. But that is a mistake where it's just like your brain made that split-second decision just a little too late. Every thrower has done that. Roth Mooring knows that. He's not going to count that against himself. He'll chalk that up as a mental error. He's right back out there with this offensive line that has been firing so far for Ignite, has scored. So they know and we know they can do it. Just a small mental error, a common one in all divisions. Let's see if Ignite can show us that composure they've talked about.
Well, playmakers make championship teams, and Duncan Nichols well on his way here. Dyno leading 3-1, and Nichols with 2 assists so far.
Go!
Disc rests about 10 yards out. Little flip from Mooring. Moves that one up for Chase Alexander. Alexander back into the middle. Fletcher brings it down. Little flip from Mooring. Looking downfield. He had Hindman momentarily, but Kinsey got back. Disc out near side. Alexander back into the middle. Fletcher beats his man. That's Wong. Wong back on his feet. Fletcher with the forehand to the line for Hindman. Kai Hindman. Mooring now. Mooring into the end zone. Brooklyn cheer comes down with it. And Ignite gets back within a goal.
Ignite using the depth of their offensive line roster. That point, we've seen a lot from Mooring this game, obviously, as the anchor handler, but their Ignite was able to use all the players on the field and challenge some different matchups they haven't seen compete against their Czechs yet. Brooklyn Shear has been getting on the scoreboard a lot for Ignite this weekend. She has been showing a very quick step, specifically in end zone to catch her Czechs sleeping. We had the chance of watching her do that at the very first point of a previously streamed game for Ignite. So she has definitely been working that last pass in the end zone this weekend. And again, seeing it here in Ignite's offense.
So Dyno getting set to get their offense back on the field. And Ultimate is, it's a large enough field, 70 yards by 40 yards with 20-yard end zones, that it's the perfect size for 7-on-7.
It really is. You find that a well-oiled machine of an offense, you learn how to generate enough room. Conversely, on defense, you can also learn where are the places that you can just take enough away that the offense might have a chance, but jam them up.
And Ultimate Parks International, certainly no stranger to these national championships, and they put on a great show here, don't they, Clay?
They put on a great show. It is so wonderful to have 19 playing fields all at one facility.
Oh, yeah. Parking isn't fun.
Zone defense here from Ignite.
Back near side. Here's McCullough with it. He's got a goal in this one. And Young Lim. UN on the left side. And a travel called or foul called?
Travel.
And Young Lim throws that one. Nice layout to save it from number 88. Jack Ponton. Here's in Young Lim. McCullough. Ponton has it. Ponton. Back for Lim. Ponton, far side. Looks one way. And then Ignite's defense gives him space.
They are, because this arrowhead zone, by design, is to allow lateral passes pretty much infinitely and wait for a mistake, and instead just stuff all the upfield, the vertical movement of the disc. And Ignite is doing a very good job of stopping the vertical. But here in this lateral movement, Dyno is inching away and just taking 2, 3, 4 yards at a time and slowly marching it up the field. But Ignite is forcing Dyno to make a ton of passes, which they're able to keep.
To the goal line. Ryan Chen moves it in, and McCullough comes down with it once again. His second goal restores the 2-goal advantage for Dyno.
I don't have a problem with that zone from Ignite. I think that worked very, very well. If you're going to make a team throw 30 or 40 passes, you're relying on the laws of diminishing returns. You're also forcing the throwers to put in a lot of hard work and a lot of concentration. Dyno, though, did something very, very smart, something that a lot of teams neglect to break up a zone like this, and that is you attack the disc to get a pass from behind the thrower. Sounds weird, but in Ultimate, you can get a running start, you can jump, you can catch the disc in the air and then land and take a few steps to slow down, which gets you about 3 yards off every pass. So we saw Dyno handlers coming from behind the thrower, right next to them, maybe a few feet off, jumping in the air and getting yards, and that momentum also usually carries you past the defenders in that front of that arrowhead. And so Dyno seemed to say, yeah, we've seen this zone before, no problem. We just need to stay fundamentally sound, and we're good.
Dyno blessed with great speed, too, and they've utilized that with the Huck for the majority of this tournament.
Yep.
But today, they've gone back more to a disc possession kind of offense that is eating up a lot of the clock and forcing the Ignite defense to have to be on the field a long time. There's Mooring. Hindman moves it up. High hands. All the way back. Kendon. Into the middle, Brooklyn Cheer, far side.
Watch how Ignite is trying to move this disc all the way from one side of the field to the other immediately, making that zone defense work hard and get all the way across.
Hindman couldn't come up with the disc, and it's another turnover. And although it's still reasonably early, Clay, these turnovers, if they open up a 3-goal deficit, despite the fact they have a lot of time left on the clock, that's going to be a difficult wall to climb. All the way down, nothing there, no contact. Everybody had an option to go for the disc, but Dyno's player is pleading his case with a foul.
This is a really common occurrence with the foul call. So Mooring was there, Mooring went straight up, and there was contact that he supposedly caused with the Dyno receiver. However, thanks to Mooring's position, no matter what, that was going to be uncatchable over his head, unplayable by the Dyno receiver. I can't see who it is, but in my view, that was going over everyone's head. Mooring didn't touch it, and he's the tallest guy out there. Didn't
even raise his arms.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm looking at this.
Okay. We're retracting the call. Wait. Whoa. Come back here.
This is the conversation.
So we can move. Okay, so we withdraw on the call. You're going to just check so we can all move. Okay?
Withdrawn.
Okay, go ahead. And recheck, and 20 seconds. The high five is the check.
Well, The disc comes back to Ignite. It's ruled no foul occurred, and Ignite get the disc back. Time it. For Mooring, little flip over the top for Hindman. Hindman into the middle, and a great defensive play there by Ethan Train to block it, and that was a runaway train to stop that disc.
Fletcher calling a foul, arguing that it was in his hands and stripped away. For the experienced ultimate players out there, there was a rule that existed called a strip, where a player would.
How on field is foul? The observer ruling it was a foul. Okay, there was solid contact with the shoulders. So it's your disc here. Okay, so pick up the disc. No, you gotta wait here. You're checking it in, and then we can move.
Sandra Hansen ruling that it was a foul on contact with the shoulder, so not a strip call. So upholds the foul call.
Fletcher for Brooklyn Cheer. Cheer looks one way, goes up the middle for Hindman, little flip for Timon. Timon tries to go down the left side, but couldn't get rid of the disc. McKinney on his man. Nice play, Chase Alexander up the middle and another drop. Hindman had it in his left hand, couldn't hang on. Dyno gets it back. Dyno moving it up. Avidan Kwok has the disc. Kwok, little flip outside for McKinney and a foul called. They'll set the stall clock at 2.
I think he's signaling 2.
Little flip. Van Ramsdonk moved it up. McKinney does a great job to keep his feet in bounds and keep the disc alive. All the way back. It's Adrian Avidan Kwok again, and another foul call.
Yeah, pick down the field between Chase and her Czech Dominic Hua. Her Cheer, I should say, and her Czech Hua.
Kwok moves that up. Ethan Train. Train, little flip, almost knocked away by Lumley. Or make that Fletcher. Mooring. McKinney with it now. 12 yards out. Van Ramsdonk. For McKinney into the end zone. Outside, just on the goal line. Little flip for Ethan Train. And it's 5-2 Dyno.
A crucial point for Dyno to take. That is 2 break points in a row. In other words, that's 2 points in a row now that Dyno has began the point on defense, pulling the disc to give Ignite the first chance on offense, earning the defensive turnover, and then taking the point. Very hard to mentally stay in a game after you have been broken twice.
5-2. And a 3-goal deficit against this Dyno club is some hill to climb. Ignite has to make adjustments in order to at least get a couple of defensive stands, but their offense has to get going as well. What exactly are some of these changes, modifications that they need to do against Dyno, who sets up in a zone, but they play man and they switch nicely?
The offensive transition, the defensive transition that Dyno makes, they have their zone, right? And eventually they're going to drop into a match defense person on person. As soon as they do that, Ignite is beginning to rush. They get through the zone. It's no problem. They're chilly, we like to say. They're relaxing with the disc. They're taking their time. But then as Dyno decides, all right, this zone isn't working, we're going to transition to a match defense one-on-one. Ignite sees that and they rush and make errors. Relax when you see them transitioning. It's okay if they go to match. You can still dump the disc, swing it around to your other handlers, reset the stall count, play chilly offense the same way you did in the zone.
Disc comes out to the brick. Mooring looking downfield. Got his man right in the middle. It's Mateo Marshall. And he throws that one into the dirt looking for Chase Alexander. And boy, you know he would like to have that one back.
That is the hardest throw in Ultimate. No, we love to get someone who's coming up our side as fast as they can to flip a quick pass. But as they go by you, you have to throw a precise pass to someone moving full speed, only 3 feet from you, past you. Very difficult to connect.
Far side, Ivan Hu moves that one up. Sia. Yu-Chen Sia. Nice little flip for Wong. Wong to the goal line. Into the hands of Ivan Hu. From Eli Bryan, 6-2. And Dyno running away with this Junior Open final.
Once again, what I was talking about, Ignite just needs to relax when they're getting these chances. Right there, making that throw to someone running away from you, just in front of you. They're coming from your side. They're going to be in front of you, that precise pass. A very easy thing to do instead of just hold the disc. Let your end zone system run itself. Ignite calls a timeout here. I wonder if they're going to talk about this. Offensively, some adjustments defensively, some adjustments they need to make is Dyno is abusing the up line. That is, they will get the disc, they look up field, and on the open side, that is where they want to throw, with the side of the disc, the side of themselves that they're holding the disc on. Your
telephone's ringing, Mr. Ignite. This is your wake-up call.
Yeah, and you need it in the timeout. I hope this is not just a mental thing. There are some definite adjustments to be made. But Dyno just seeing that there's no one defending up line. They can just continually make a jab step back as if they're going to get a swing around to the middle of the field and instead go right up the line and just march it up in what is just like a really 3-yard lane that Ignite isn't shutting down. They're only playing on a sideline, but they're getting it up the field all the way, just sticking to the sideline.
There's Ignite getting together, gathering, trying to make sure that everybody has the same idea from Coach Atala. 3-1 in pool and crossover play, and some pretty tight games to get to this final.
Yeah, 2 double game point wins. They beat Origine from Quebec City in their quarterfinal, 13-12. They beat Canyon from North Shore, North Vancouver, from BC. That game was intense, the loudest sidelines I've ever heard.
It went to Universe Point, did it not?
That's right, yeah, both of them did. So knocking off Origine, which was a big name coming into this tournament, and then Canyon, the upstart, making it all the way to semis.
Yeah, we saw Canyon the other night, Saturday night at
we're just as spirited as
Tag Park and Keith Harris Stadium on the campus of Carleton University, but conditions a lot different on this natural surface. And coming in here and having to play early in the morning, this is a lowland, so there's a lot of dew, and it leads to some really wet footing, and teams have to be prepared for that, because that could lead to injuries, and one slip could take out your best player in the national championships and limited tournament. That's a big loss.
Not only that, but teams have been capitalizing on the blown tires. You know, you one misstep, you fall down, your check's off to the races in the end zone point. That can be game-changing.
Roth Morey moves it back. Brooklyn Cheer. Cheer. Far side, Chase Alexander. Alexander dumps that off for Morey. Duncan Nichols right on him. Nice pass all the way up the middle there for Mateo Marshall. Marshall back into the middle for Timon. Lucas Timon. And
pick called against Brooklyn Cheer. There's a little bit of disorganization by Ignite in the middle of the field in front of the thrower.
Cheer. And a little infringement there from Yu-Chen Xia.
So you see the arms going up in the V shape, signaling a violation. I believe we'll hear the conversation.
Well, I called this thing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So does that mean that, so when you called this space, did he crack and stop the stall counting? I did. Okay, so then she called fast count. So it's 2 marking violations on the same possession. So we're coming in at stalling 1 unless you're contesting or you'd like to. So she called 2 marking violations. So we're coming down, you're coming in at 1 unless you're contesting. Or if you'd like to come to me for a ruling, I will rule on.
Fast count because I count everyone.
Okay. But is your fast count because he was counting fast or because he didn't stop stall counting when the marking violation happened? Okay.
Well, he already called this space.
Yes.
So then, like, but I just counted normally after that.
Okay, but did you correct on the disk space? And did you stop stall counting? So you have to stop stall counting until you correct your mark. Okay. And then she called fast count, so that's 2 marking violations on the same possession. Okay?
Coming at 1.
You're coming in at 1. Okay, we're going to come in at 1, 2 marking violations.
There's a few rules coming into play there. That's actually a tricky one to navigate as a defender, but Sandra Hansen there to help educate and explain the rules.
Nice layout there by Hindman to keep it alive. Kinsey right on him. Ignite in tight. They go for the end zone. Alexander reaches for it, lunges for it, but unable to come down.
Big shot there for Ignite, but once again, seeing them get into the red zone and losing that composure that I was talking about earlier, just rushing it, not seeing that you can move the disc around, get a reset, get something cleaner, get something safer to take right now. When you're down 6-2 with lots of time left, now's not the time to make the desperate shots.
Well, down by 4. I know that the second half is coming all the way down. Vander Driesen can't come up with it. Great effort to get there, and we thought we'd see more of a Huck-dominated offense from Dyno. We saw it there, and they almost were able to put it together. Alexander. Ryan right on him. Little flick all the way up for Timon. Lucas Timon. Vander Driesen on him for Brooklyn Cheer. And another infringement there by Yuchen.
So we'll wait to see.
Okay, we're coming in on 1.
Coming in on 1.
Cheer. Mooring to the outside for Marshall. Mateo Marshall into the end zone. Alexander has it this time.
7 throws that were not big hucks made by Ignite on that possession. That's all it took to get down the field and score, and seeing a lot safer choices, safer decision making there, and just using the speed that they've shown us they have this game to get open. I really like that possession, showing that patience rather than just going for the big shots. You're only down by 3, still lots of time. You can keep doing that on offense until you see an adjustment from Dyno, but you know they're waiting for you to huck it. You know you haven't been connecting on them. Work that under game.
Well, it seems to be available to them, and right now, Ignite is in no position to turn down any offers of green space.
That is true. That is true. It is really difficult, too, when you're saying, is this a free huck? Can I take this down to the deep? This is a sure thing. And most coaches, most players will say it's still an appropriate thing to take. But you don't want to get into a mode of convincing yourself that everything you see is a free shot. That's where the wheels are going to come off.
McCullough moves it up. Ponton. Jack Ponton. And they come near side and a travel called on Young Lim. Here's McCullough. Once again, we go far side. Jordan McDonald into the game now. Ponton. for McCullough. Callahan, McCullough. Back for Ponton. McCullough again. Tight defense here being offered by Ignite. They throw it up. Ponton has it on the far side. Comes back into the middle for Ryan Chen. Chen, near side. And Young Lim gets it back. Fakes one way, goes the other. Rex UN. About 10 yards out. Back for En Young Lim. Rex UN. Needs some help. Dumps that off Chen for UN. En Young Lim. UN goes back into the end zone, and Marshall knocks it down. Back the other way will come Ignite. They needed that stop.
They needed that. They read that offensive set. That was the throw and go open side. Anytime there was an open side throw, Dyno would follow their pass. Ignite got a read on that quick, forced them to make a lot of choices, and then read the play to get that run through D.
Mateo Marshall up for Liam Carriere. All the way down, looking deep into the end zone. A little bit of bump there by En Young Lim, and no foul called as Jordan Dawes was looking to get the long one.
That was a really great no call, frankly, by Dawes as he and UN were competing for that position in the field. Neither of them really had the rights to it first, if you will. So that was just a total physical battle to dominate that space. UN holding his feet there and making it so no one had a chance to come in, including Dawes.
UN goes downfield, right back at them, into the hands of Matthew Jarrett to the goal line. Little flip into the hands, you got it. Jordan McDonald scores for Dyno, and it's 7-3.
See a big celebration from Dyno. I will point out that was on an offensive hold. Talking to the coaching staff of Dyno before this game, the plan was if our offense holds, we know our defense will get it done. So having an offensive line that can get things done crisp and quickly is their plan. That almost failed as they turned it over in their end. Well, Ignite forced a turnover in the end zone and was very, very close of scoring, but it was Rex UN who ensured that they were able to get it back, and then Dyno with the second try makes far shorter work of the Ignite defense to punch that in.
No doubt at halftime there will be discussions and perhaps some personnel changes made just to change things up a little bit.
Tough to say. It's sometimes you're thinking about those personnel changes. If you notice that your players out there are not clicking or doing what they're supposed to do, if they are, and you need to make coaching adjustments, it's more of a macro level kind of adjustment. You just put the players out there, you ask them to do something else. I will be curious to see how long Ignite can run this offensive line. We have seen these 7 players out there almost the entire game. And while this is the last game, it is the junior division, everybody still runs out of energy, especially in this heat. So we'll see what kind of stamina this Ignite O-line has.
Yeah, it's about 30 degrees with the Humidex here in the nation's capital today. The sun is shining, so, and the sun is shining, and the weather has been pretty good over the course of these championships. 26 degrees and probably about 4 or 5 degrees warmer out in the sun with the Humidex. Alexander, or make that Fletcher. Fletcher for Timon. Timon, morning cutting, gets the disc about 10 yards out. This would be great for Ignite if they're able to get another goal on the board here. Brooklyn Cheer has it, looks one way, had her man down. Nice grab there by Fletcher to keep it alive. Fletcher, about 5 yards out, into the end zone for Alexander, and it's good. Another goal by Ignite. They're not going away.
Not going away, and now we're seeing some trades. Since taking that time out at a score of 6-2, it was 6-3, 7-3, 7-4. So we've only been trading points. There have been no break points since that timeout. So Ignite, obviously, that was plan A, was to trade with Dyno the whole game and then get a few breaks of their own for the victory. So they're definitely back on track with their original plan. Now much more of an uphill battle, as they'll have to get several defensive breaks to really tie the game up when you have Dyno thinking, we really want to pull away here and get our own. So some extra hard work left for Ignite here in this first half. Half, I should say, will be taken at 8 points, the first team to 8.
Or 45 minutes.
Well, that is true, and I think we're crossing that threshold. However, with the score already being
a minute away.
Yeah, with the score already being 7, though, you add 1 to the highest score and you play to that. And since a half is taken at 8 points anyway, as soon as one of these teams gets 8 points, we will take halftime. However, fun fact, if Ignite goes on a run here and takes half 8-7, that's how long it'll take to get to half. Time no longer has a meaning for half. It's just first team to 8. So we could potentially see 4 more points here.
75 minute soft cap, 85-minute hard cap. Here in this championship final, as the disc goes into touch, and it'll come out to the brick.
Let's go!
And the brick traditionally about 20 yards out from the goal line. So, better field position to begin this offensive set for Dyno. Ponted. Far side, Rex Yuan. Yuan moves that one up. McDonald. Getting late in the stall count. McDonald going deep. Looking for Chen. He's got it! Ryan Chen comes down with it in a 50-50 battle against Loic Cleveland, and we have now officially reached halftime.
Officially reached halftime. A desperation throw by McDonald, but he knows he's got the receivers downfield. An excellent read by Ryan Chen to get around the defender. Look, Cleveland, so halftime now. Halves are 7 minutes.
So we'll take a break and be back with more of this Junior Open Championship here at the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships from Ultimate Parks International in Greeley, Ontario.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. Now available online at GabrielPizza.com.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Join us Monday to Friday on Daytime Ottawa as we showcase some of the fabulous things that are happening in your city. We'll showcase some local businesses. We'll also have a little bit of fun with food and fashion. We'll talk a little health and wellness, and we'll share some of those inspirational stories of some of those local people that are doing absolutely amazing things. Tune in at 2 p.m. live Monday to Friday with repeats at 6 and 11 p.m.
Join us for Season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Ultimate Parks International in Greeley, Ontario, just south of the nation's capital. It's the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships, this junior open final between Dyno of Vancouver and Ignite from Ottawa. And it's 8-4 Dyno, and they've had all kinds of they've established their superiority in every game they've played in these championships. They've done the same here in the final.
That's right. Really been using their legs and speed and agility. You'll see on these replays both teams fighting for that, showing some athleticism and getting up high. But the story has been for Dyno just consistency in their athleticism to make big plays. And early in the half, lots of errors from Ignite, not connecting on their deep games. Some have come through, but there you see there just a mental error from Roth Mooring that we talked about, a little bit of a whiff, and Dyno with the discipline to immediately capitalize on mistakes. That being said, Ignite has not gone away. Late adjustment in the, well, second half adjustment in the second half, or the first half, I should say, was taking a timeout, a score of 6-2, and readjusting, and then only trading points for the rest of that half. They were broken once more after that as Dyno took the half, but Ignite brought themselves right back into the game very, very quickly. So difficult to say. Sometimes we like to say this is anybody's game right now. Dan, I'm thinking to myself, Ignite is absolutely in this. Dyno has not run away with this in any respect. We're just going to have to see how Ignite is going to bounce back in the second half with a 4-point deficit.
You made a very salient point late in that first half about Ignite effectively using the same people the entire first half, and that may take its toll later on in this final as a result of them just being so fatigued with the heat. So important to stay hydrated in this situation, but that might not be enough.
That might not be enough. Coaches will typically tell these players in the situation, this is the last half of our last tournament. It's maximum going to be 13 to 14 13 points. So you're saying to your top end that you've had on the field, I'm still leaving you out there. Leave everything out there on the field. This is the only thing that matters right now. Show me your heart, show me your grit, and get it done. Players in this division will do that. They are hungry for that. They want to prove themselves. But that doesn't stop the elements and the effort still insidiously working their way in to get that fatigue, which can result in little mental errors, which can be game-changing. And we've already seen that in the first half.
And we can't forget that they're just kids, really, up until they can play this division, up until they're 18 years old. You have to have your 19th birthday after December 31st in your 18th year, but they're going to advance. These programs are going to benefit, and the sport of Ultimate will more than likely get a couple of coaches, maybe a couple of national team members from both of these sides down the road.
Yeah, a lot of these players already having been members of Team Canada. Some of the players playing right now did just play in the international championship that was in Birmingham in England in the World U20s. We had Jordan McDonald just for Dyno. He's on the line right now. He was there. And, lots of these players are thinking to themselves, I want to make that my goal. I will continue in this high-performance stream to see how I fare and make Team Canada one day. And there's lots of other opportunities to do that. But both these teams definitely in a high-performance, high-achievement stream. And they're sure putting on a show without that talent in this match.
Jordan McDonald wearing number 9 for Dyno. The final goal of that opening half was his huck. And Ryan Chen just made a great play to not only get an opportunity to make a catch, but to keep the defender at bay at the same time. And that was a very, very pretty play, and one of the long plays that we expected to see more of out of Dyno in that opening half.
I think there's only been 1 to 2 unsuccessful long plays for Dyno, but they've also been showing a lot of discipline and just not taking all the shots, right? And that's why the turnover rate on those long shots has been so low, is because they're not taking the ill-advised throws.
The second half underway here in the Junior Open Final of the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships. Dan Mooney, Clay Howlett, and our entire Rogers TV crew so happy to have you along for the ride. Chen trying to get under it. The disc sails, but he tried to get it back into play just a bit too long. What a huck.
The greatest attempt, you love to see it. In Ultimate, you may jump in the air from inbounds, catch the disc in the air, throw it before you land out of bounds, and that pass is still in. It's still live. So the attempt there made as it sailed out of bounds by Chen, going for the glory, but the pass, no one there to get it for him.
Here come Ignite. Ilusha Andreev out there. Some new faces in the lineup for Ignite. Loic Cleveland moves that one up into the hands of Jordan Dawes. Dawes looking one way, takes a bump from Rex UN. High pitch there, taken down by Cleveland. Gets it back to Declan Brook. Brook, little flip, great defense, great concentration by Andreev to keep it alive. Hockey threw up the errant pass. It's knocked down by Ponton, and he looks downfield for McCullough. Can he bring it down? What's the ruling? Out of bounds. So close.
The wind playing a little bit of a part now, pushing those passes just too far as Dyno has had great hucks made to two receivers totally away from their check, getting that separation. We saw that turnover from Ignite I was talking about in the first half. The rushing of once you're getting on a run, getting closer and closer to the end zone and taking quicker choices that are harder throws, resulting in turnovers.
Little flip, moving up the right side. Jordan Dawes. Dawes looking into the end zone again. Disc sailing. Oh, Marshall comes down with it. Ignite score first here in the second half to get back within 3.
Now, Dan, you were asking in the halftime and first half, how long would we see Ignite's O-line persist? And their playing offense for Ignite was a totally different set of personnel, getting it done for their top end, giving them a rest, keeping your team in the game, being able to use the depth of your roster in a game like this, playing against what is the big bad wolf in Junior Open Ultimate right now, and having your second line come on and get you a point.
That's
what a way
big.
to stay in the game. Huge.
And it's going to give everybody else a lift. Okay, guys, we're not completely out of this yet. We have to be really diligent on defense. We've got to keep making stops because we know how quickly they can score. And you've seen Dyno open it up a little bit to start this second half, looking downfield for the long one.
So we were talking earlier, just did a little counting. There were 6 under 20 Team Canada members playing with Dyno.
That's a pretty impressive lineup. They were part of a grand opening ceremony on Saturday at Carleton University wearing their Team Canada jerseys. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
Ponton, Jack Ponton to the far side. Ponton gets it back, looks for McCullough. Now they look up the middle. Again. Dyno being pressed. Here's McCullough. McCullough, little flip for Rex UN. Chen finds his man. McDonald for Ryan Chen. Chen down low, Rex UN. Moves it up. Jarrett tied up. Flips it back for Elvin Young Lim. Near side, Rex UN into the end zone for Chen. And the goal is good. Dyno leads this one 9-5.
That's what you want to see from your offensive line. Like I said earlier, clean, crisp offense to score quickly, force the offense of this tired, well, or at least very much relied upon offensive line of Ignite to get back out there and do more hard work. So we are seeing that first line on offense from Ignite back on the field now. And we were saying they've put in so much hard work. They needed their second string to keep them in the game, which they did, which was amazing. But you want to score quickly if you're Dyno to get that top line back out there and see if you can run them into the ground. And so that quick, efficient offense, exactly what you want to do if you're Dyno right now.
Well, they're really illustrating their level of versatility here. And they, in another aspect, another respect, they spread the scoring around. Callahan McCullough with 2 goals. Enoch, or make that Ivan Hu with 2 goals. Ryan Chen with a couple of goals. You know, they're moving. Everybody's getting to touch the disc and be part of the offensive set. Mooring, far side. Marshall into the middle. Hindman. Kai Hindman into the middle. Fletcher for Mooring. Mooring settles it down. Goes to the far side. Mateo. Marshall with it. Marshall forced to opt off Mooring. Mooring, nice play and a great effort there by Ivan Hu to break it up. But Ignite continues to press. Little flip in for Mooring. Comes down with it in the end zone. And Ignite stays alive.
What a pass. I felt Mooring was totally sealed on the up the line cut there, but your throw is an ultimate. I mean, rule of thumb, throw it somewhere where the defender can't get to. And that leading pass for Mooring was perfect. Nothing Duncan Nichols really could have done about that, as he did such a great job of guarding the inside. But to put it to the back of the end zone, Mooring had all day just to run onto that disc, looped around the range of Nichols.
And the breeze has freshened here at UPI, and that is going to play a part in the rest of this one. So does Dyno go back to that disc control offense that provided them with a lot of success in that opening half?
I think they'll probably stay pretty loose on their rules. They've certainly established that they're ready to throw deep, right? And when you see that as a defensive squad, you're saying, they might huck it any second, so I have to be really tight in either direction. And then you can abuse that and come underneath and get big gainers when you're running towards the disc. So I think they'll keep it pretty loose, but we'll see.
Young Lim in for Jack Pontet. Pontet, near side, UN picks that one up off the grass. And now they're going to determine whether or not it landed. And if it did, that'd be a big turnover for Ignite.
It was down.
There you go. So Ignite now goes back onto the offense.
The disc has to be tapped in, so to speak. So the disc has to be made live. It's dead and no one can move until that happens. So everybody's back where they need to be. And Ewan taps that on the ground, and now the play is live.
So now the disc will get into the hands of Theo Chandler Nantel. Little flip back out there for Marshall. Marshall looks to the outside. That one intercepted. Ryan Chen moves it up. McDonald has it at midfield. He finds McCullough. Dyno moving up the field very quickly. Little flip back out. In Young Lim for Pontet.
Go, Jack, go! Jack!
Elvin and Young Lim. Jarrett. Great defensive play, kept alive. McDonald sends it back in, but it doesn't remain in play. What an effort by Jordan McDonald to keep that alive.
A second greatest attempt by Dyno, having trouble keeping my composure. Amazing to see these attempts and athleticism being shown to us here.
Dawes into the middle. How did he make that catch? Mateo Marshall.
Too close!
And there's an errant toss looking for the foul against Chen, and it looks like we're going to have a discussion here.
Before the discussion starts, I see Chen pointing, you hit my hand, you came into my hand. It doesn't matter if the defense can't keep their hands back from contact before throw. It's always a foul on the defense.
Disc is tapped in. Marshall, far side, Dawes. Dawes needs some help. Dishes that one off. Great catch there by Marshall as he laid out. Tandem. Marshall, 5 yards out. Ignite, looking to stay alive. They got it. Dawes has it. And Ignite gets back within a pair.
Break point for Ignite. Sorely needed it. They are making up the deficit. They were down 4 points at half. The score was 8-4. The score now 9-7. You're sensing that energy shift as Ignite is flying high right now with their success. Very quiet Dyno squad and the hometown crowd getting loud for Ignite. But that last point had some of the best athleticism we've seen this game. A greatest attempt, some layout bids, keeping the disc alive and just digging it out of the grass. Dan, I got the jitters a little bit.
I don't know. The way those guys are diving out there for these to keep them alive. McDonald at one end and then McDonald at this end.
Yeah, really explosive player. We also saw Marshall with 2 big defensive bids that point, or 1 defensive bid and an offensive bid, excuse me. Also being really explosive. Something that, you know, tends to be a thing in the junior division. Very springy on the hair trigger.
So Dyno in the dark jerseys, Ignite in the white jerseys as Mateo Marshall sends it in. Brian for Ryan Kinsey. Kinsey, little flip out to the far side. Van den Driesen finds Wong. Miles Wong. Up for Nichols. Nichols gets it to the goal line. Another flip into the end zone for Yu Chen Xia from Ivan Hu. And it's now 10-7 Dyno.
Dyno, once again, using that upline space, scoring in a vertical area that's really just 3 yards off of the sideline, deciding that they are going to jab step, work, juke, whatever it takes to beat their check up the line. That has worked for them all game. Difficult because if you're on the defensive mark, you're trying to hold the force. You're trying to make the offensive player throw in that tiny little space. But you have to count on your players downfield to shut anyone down that might come for the reception, and that's just not happening. And several, we could say, not so highlightish goals, big in the air and everything, but most goals for Dyno have been scored in that fashion.
They're very, very quick in transition, and no doubt that's one of the keys to their success.
Yeah, a lot of maturity shown by teams when they're able, when any kind of transition happens on the field, whether it's your own defensive or offensive from one system to another, or you're going from offense to defense, to just click immediately. You don't worry about mistakes. You just immediately play the game that's at hand in front of you. Very difficult thing to learn and to focus sticking to.
Mooring moves it up for Hindman, but another stoppage here.
Let's go, Dyno!
Kinsey taps it in. Hindman moves that one up. Chase Alexander in for Fletcher. Fletcher, little flip over the top. Marshall has it now. Had Diamond breaking in the end zone, but couldn't get rid of the disc quickly enough. Here's Mooring. Mooring out wide for Fletcher. Fletcher with some space as Who is on him. Mooring into the end zone and a slip there. Brooklyn Cheer giving I believe that's number 15, Yushen Xia, the Bronx cheer.
Foul call. I think she's...
Okay, I was looking over there at the second. Chazzy, were you looking over where this happened? Okay, come on over.
4 observers on the squad. This is where they can help each other out. You love to have 4.
I hear you both, and I do understand what would you like to do. Would you like to contest it, or would you like to come to observer? I'll let you come here. I had a good view of it, the river ruling. It was a foul.
Okay. Yeah, just wait. Just wait. You're going to check the ground, and then everyone else can move. Okay. Oh. Yeah, wait.
Hold up, stop.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Play will continue as the disc touched down by Brooklyn Cheer. She goes back to the goal line, and now Ignite looking for the quick pass, the quick hit, and Cheer still with it, and she's calling another foul on Sia, who is, they've been sort of going at it
back and forth
all day. Cheer, still with it. And stall count too long, hangs on to it too long, and it's a turnover. Vandendriesen looking deep, trying to run under it. Got it! Miles Wong makes it 11-7, restoring the 4-goal advantage. What a huck. But hang on.
Waiting to determine what's going on. Observers usually have a set of signals that they make. They point to the ground to say first point of contact was in the end zone. They bring their arms up to check for any calls and then signal goal. And we're not seeing a signal goal until now.
That took a bit of time.
Yeah, it happens when we can get several calls happening in the game. After some signaling and everything, that goal is confirmed by the observers. And a timeout is called by Ignite, as once again they're calling this timeout with a 4-point deficit. Earlier called this timeout in the first half, and while the half ended with a 4-point deficit, they seem to come back in this half, but now down once again by the same margin. What a wonderful huck at the Jets by Miles Wong to get that pass.
What a great huck by Vandendriesen, though, to just throw it or attempt to get it to a specific spot and let Miles Wong run under it.
Well, he's an out guy, not an up guy, or that's what we like to say sometimes, and that is if you can throw the disc far and count on the speed of your receiver, one thing that does do is lead them where the defense can't possibly have a chance. If you air it out and count on them going up in the air, skying their check, we use the term skying to make that grab, that can sometimes be a 50-50. So putting it out to space where only the offense can get it, the safer thing, but you need someone with wheels to get that done.
Ivan Hu with the hat trick. Ryan Chen with a couple. Callahan McCullough with a couple. I wonder if his folks played Ultimate.
I was wondering the same thing. A Callahan being, for those that don't know, is when you're on defense and you intercept the pass made by the offense within their own end zone, the end zone that you would be trying to score on an offense. It's an automatic point, and we call that a Callahan. And yeah, you do have to ask, was McCullough perhaps named for one of the glory plays in Ultimate?
Well, it says it's very, very rare that you see it, but it does happen. And Sometimes it happens a couple of times a game. Very rare that you see two Callahans in a game. Kind of like holes in one in golf.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you, I had a game last year in the senior division, which is following this tournament. It was between Toronto's Union and Winnipeg's PBHG. There was two Callahans in the game, one apiece.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were like back-to-back. Pretty exciting.
The disc sailing and lands in the end zone. Back for it. Sammy Tendon gets it out. Oh! Kinsey almost stole it there. But Hindman moves it up for Mateo Marshall into the hands of Fletcher. Fletcher down the sidelines. Alexander. Fletcher looking into the end zone. The disc hangs up. Timon can't come up with it. But Vandendriesen sends it back the other way. Brian moves that one up for Wong. Or that's Sia for Wong. Ivan Who? Far side into the hands of Duncan Nichols into the end zone. Vandendriesen comes down with it, and it looks as if Dyno is going to win their second consecutive gold medals here at the Canadian Ultimate Championship.
They're pulling away. Vandendriesen with the great read to make the goal. He also made the defensive play in his own end zone, going end to end. In Ultimate, we have some parlance. Double happiness if you make the defensive play and then score, and the book ends if you do so from your own end zone and score in the other. Vandendriesen going all the way end to end on the field to get it done for Dyno.
Now, if you look at body language, you see Dyno from Vancouver very confident in their 5-goal lead at this point. And if we see Ignite wearing the white jerseys, you'll see a team that is not necessarily as excited about being here in this moment.
Yeah, they know they're down in the thick of it, seeing hands on hips, listening, saying, all right, what are we going to do to get this done? We have to stick through it. We see tenacity from these junior teams, though, and in every single game that we have covered this weekend, and in most of the games we haven't, no teams have capitulated no matter the score.
Dyno with the pull. And Roth Mooring picks it up around the brick. Mooring gets it out to the... Oh, what a great grab there! Alexander laid out to keep the disc alive in a must-score situation here for Ignite. Mooring goes it to the far side for Emery Hockey. Hockey moves it up. Hindman has to go back. Mooring looking for some cutters, finds Marshall. Marshall with Miles Wong on him, and another little too close for comfort.
Yeah, pick called out of the vertical stack. A vertical offense often has many picks.
Mooring had to leap up, goes into the end zone. The catch is made. It's a goal. Kai Hindman scores for Ignite.
Hindman keeping his toes down. That was so close. Let's see the replay on this one. Quick pass by Mooring. Moving too fast for our cameras, but you know what? That's why we have the 4-person observer team. The observers checking in, with each other to make that call. A tough one to make, but that's why we're using every resource we can here to get the best perspective in these finals on all the calls and plays made.
That's Hindman's second goal of this final, championship final. Gets Ignite back within 4. They trail 12-8. And time winding down, still about 6 minutes. Make that 5 minutes to the soft cap.
It wouldn't be an ultimate tournament if we didn't mess up the timing a little.
No.
And I'll tell you, I've been informed that this game will only be going to soft cap at the 105-minute mark. We're going to use our observer staff to help us call, and if we get there, we'll explain it to you. But Dyno only 3 points away from the championship right now. The game is played to 15.
Should it not exceed the time limit, the score will stand.
Yeah. He's seeing his zone set from Ignite here.
Jack Ponton. McCullough. Rex UN. Comes near side. Ponton has it. Ponton over the top. McDonald. About 10 yards out. Flips it back. Here's Rex UN. And he's got Matthew Jarrett in the end zone. And another goal for Dyno.
Another efficient, quick goal from this O-line. Saw UN flipping from his right hand to his left to make that goal here. You'll see once he receives it, it's a quick look on one side and then pop with his other hand, showing some ambidextrous skill to really keep the defense from having any chance. And once again, that just puts Ignite's top O-line here, who has just been absolutely grinding this whole game and is starting to show some signs of fatigue or miscommunication, as they did a few points ago near the end zone, getting stalled down, that is holding the disc for too long and causing a turnover. But we see all the Ignite players coming out in front of their line. Everybody's there for support. Coaches, all the players, the whole team is still in this to support their teammates out on the field.
Well, you might say that Ignite could be a little baked, not only by the sunshine, but the fact this is their 7th game since Sunday. And in 4 days, 7 games to be, put in this situation. Yeah, they're really young and they're in the best shape of their lives, but it's still
it's a lot in a very
physically
short window.
demanding kind of sport. Mooring. Tendon. Forces Mooring all the way back to his own goal line. Knocked down there. Avid and Kwok sends it back the other way as Dyno gets fresh legs out there. Van Ramsdonk gets it into the end zone to McKinney. And another big goal makes it 14-8 Dyno.
So at this point, it'll be a game to 15 no matter what. The game will end when one team reaches that score. Dyno's only one away. A very difficult hill to climb. That would have to be 7 unanswered points made by Ignite if they wish to win this championship.
And if they were to do it, that would go into the annals of Canadian Ultimate Championships history.
Well, you never know that hometown X factor. And
well, lots of family and friends are here watching the juniors in this final, even though it is a Wednesday afternoon here in the nation's capital. But absolutely fabulous weather for these championships here at Ultimate Parks International in Greeley, Ontario, just south of Ottawa. And Dan Mooney alongside Clay Howlett for this one. Clay, certainly no stranger to these championships, has come all the way to Ottawa not only to volunteer and be part of our broadcast, but volunteer in the championships from Victoria, British Columbia. Thanks so much for all of your efforts here.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it.
That one well into touch, so disc will come out to the brick, and you know that Dyno wants to get a turnover and end this as quickly as they possibly can. Roth Mooring for Ignite. Ignite Little flip into the hands of Mateo Marshall. Marshall for number 94. That's Chris Sear out there for the first time in the game. Hindman with it. Hindman goes into the end zone well ahead of the intended target, Roth Mooring, and Dyno gets an opportunity to end it on this possession.
Trying to use that far pass for Mooring again. They had success in that earlier, but Ivan Hugh saw it coming, turned on the Jets, and sealed Mooring out.
Kinsey at his own goal line moves it up for Nichols. Nichols, that one well ahead of Miles Wong, and Ignite. The heart of Ignite continues to pump.
They want it. Ivan, no deep.
Yeah, gonna go all the way.
Brooklyn cheer.
No deep, anything but a deep.
For Marshall. Marshall looking downfield for the quick hit, and he's got it. Hindman gets another one on the board. It's 14-9.
Seeing that heart pumping, as you say, but it remains, Dan, this team refusing to go down. It is the final. Of course, they are going to fight for this until the end. Anything can happen in these matches. Teams around the world have come back from larger deficits. I'm not sure if it's always likely at this stage in the game when you're battling an opponent that is 1 point away from the championship. That point on paper was the given. That was their offensive point. That was an offensive hold. Technically, statistically, you're saying Ignite has to make that point. That is the one they should always be getting. And now the real hard work begins. You need to make defensive plays against Dyno, stuff their offense, and convert over and over and over if you want that gold medal.
4-0 in the pool in the crossover play without really breaking much of a sweat. They beat Dusk in the quarters 15-2. They beat Helios 15-7. They've allowed 9 goals, so Ignite can be very pleased with that offensive output. It just might not be enough.
That's right. But let's see what heart they show us here.
Rex UN. UN looking for the bundle quickly. McDonald had a chance at it. Kai Hindman there defending, and this one continues.
Hindman got his fingers on that enough to break up the read of McDonald. The sort of crucial play you need right now.
Mooring looking downfield quickly for Dawes. Rex UN there. Dawes comes down with it. Get out of town. Dawes one over for Chris Sear. Sear still with it. Sear into the end zone. Hindman can't bring it down. There to make the stop defensively, Matthew Jarrett. Both of them laying out. Everybody giving everything they possibly have to finish this one off. Ponton looking for McDonald. Lets it sail. McDonald into the end zone. It's over. Dyno are the gold medalists here at the 2024 Canadian Ultimate Championships in the Junior Open Division.
Dyno believing in McDonald on that second shot. He had tons of separation, knew he was alone, read that disc, and saw he could get the jump in and seal the deal. Dyno, the favorites to win this tournament from quite some time ago. But as you said, they allowed only 9 points against them in all games prior to this. That was 6 games where only 9 points in sum total were scored against them. Ignite doing the best they could, but you know, Dan, we said in the first half, that early deficit, we were only 20 minutes into the game and they were down 4, and now you look at the score, losing 6. Those early deficits come back to haunt teams.
Really, really difficult to come back. A 2-goal deficit is probably manageable over the course of an 85-minute. a 3-goal deficit is even tougher, especially when you consider that Dyno really didn't give up much defensively throughout the entire tournament.
No, and like they said, you know, we knew that it was just all about Dyno holding their offense this game, and they did, and they got the result.
You talk about player of the game. Who are you thinking?
Player of the game, I am going with Rex Ewan.
Rex Ewan gets the nod from Clay Howlett, and Dyno will have a really great flight home to Vancouver. Going home with a gold medal again, twice in a row for Dyno. They win this one 15-9. For Clay Howlett and our entire Rogers TV crew, I'm Dan Mooney. So long from UPI Fields in Greeley, Ontario.
At the Ottawa Hospital Civic Campus, this program does not replace the advice or care of a medical professional. Before participating, please talk to your practitioner to see if this program is right for you. If any movement gives you pain, shortness of breath, or other discomfort, please stop and discuss these exercises with your healthcare professional.